Hello everyone, my name is Maria Smith and I'm the president of the Spirit of Shrewsbury, and I'm here today with our vice president, Wayne Watkins. Our board of directors made the difficult decision this year, unfortunately, to cancel the Spirit of Shrewsbury for 2020. The Fall Festival, which has been an annual event in Shrewsbury for 24 years, this would have been our 25th anniversary of the festival, and we had plans this year to really do things special. It was going to be the best festival ever. The clear underlying reason for canceling the festival is, of course, the COVID-19 pandemic, which has been had a devastating impact on our community, the Commonwealth, the nation, and of course, the world. We're not yet at the end of the situation, as evidenced by the resurgence in many areas of new cases of the virus. Canceling the event was a tough decision, but nevertheless, it was a necessary one. I'm going to ask Wayne to actually outline for you the basic issues which led us to make this decision on the part of the community. Wayne?
Thanks, Maria. I appreciate that. Obviously, there are as many opinions regarding how to go from here with the pandemic as there are people in the community, in the Commonwealth, and in the nation. We based our decision based on two primary factors: the safety of the community and the safety of our volunteers. The vast majority of the events that we have at the festival involve large numbers of people in close proximity to one another. The combination of the community expo, which is held under a large tent, the craft fair, food trucks and stands, and the activities which bring kids together, like Kids Got Talent, and bouncy houses, petting zoos, and so forth, we felt really presented an unacceptable risk for the community, and there was simply no safe alternative. The same goes for the parade that we have on the Sunday of the festival. Hundreds of people march in that parade, and dozens of volunteers assist them in getting ready for that and helping the parade be successful. It isn't possible, or we didn't feel it was impossible, to do that safely. So second, but certainly no less important, is the safety of our volunteers. We have hundreds of volunteers that work the festival, both on site and in the background. And the risks I previously mentioned about proximity of people apply to them as well as they apply to people that participate in the community themselves. So if we can't ensure a safe environment for the community, and we can't ensure a safe environment for our volunteers, then we simply can't go forward with the festival, and that's the decision that was made. I also want to mention here that we have many, many companies that assist us in making this festival successful. They provide financial support, they provide personal support, including people like police officers, pizza providers, trash collectors, janitorial services, bus drivers, and many more. They're critical to the success of the festival, and if we can't have a successful festival, then we can't ask them to participate in that sort of thing. We'll be back next year, bigger and better than ever, for our 25th anniversary. I'll turn it now back to Maria to talk a little bit about that.
Thanks, Wayne. I'd like to just go over a few things that are going to happen this year with our Spirit of Shrewsbury. We're not totally, canceling everything. As you probably have seen, driving around the town, our banners are up thanks to Selco. They've been wonderful every year. They hang our banners for us. We thank them for that. And, even though this was a difficult year for us, we did still have sponsors. And we felt as though, let's go ahead and put the banners up so that everyone can see our supporters and to let them know we are alive and well and we'll be back. So when you drive around the town, you will see the banners are being hung. I think they're probably all up now. I think Selco finished them today. One addition that we did make this year was adding banners to honor our past Grand Marshals. This being our 25th year, it would be nice for people to know who our past Grand Marshals are. And of course, we go back to 1997, and our very first Grand Marshal was Richard Carney. Then we go 98 was Babs and Jim Donahue, all the way up to 2019, which was Michael Perna. So we've done a nice job with putting these banners up so that people can see the year and the actual person. The only year that we did not have an individual person as a Grand Marshal was 2012. And that was a year where our theme was based on volunteerism. So we decided rather than one individual, we would honor all the volunteers in the town. You know, I think that was a wise move, and it was well received, and it was the theme carried through in the parade that year. And I think it was the right thing to do, and that was the only year that we didn't have one single person, or there were years that we had couples that were presented as our Grand Marshals. So look for the banners. The ones for the Grand Marshal, I did see them on my way here. They are hanging on Maple Ave, right around the, where you go to Old Mill Road. So they're on that side of the road, so you can actually see who our past Grand Marshals are. Another thing that they're doing this year, which we've done for a number of years, and it's typically sponsored by our garden club in town. Started it a number of years ago, started out slow, but has grown now, and the common is ablaze with scarecrows. This is an opportunity for the people in the community to make a scarecrow and put it up on the common. When we first started it, it was kind of a juried thing where we had a panel of judges and they would award prizes for different categories of the scarecrows. And now it has evolved to, do your own thing, put it up yourself, and it's a nice thing for people to visit. So that being said, the Garden Club is going ahead with that this year. They thought they could do that in keeping with the spirit of Shrewsbury, and it would be something for the community to enjoy and also be able to safely enjoy with social distancing and all that. It's just, you kind of, go along on your own and view these.
Right. Maria, could you talk a little bit about Light the Common that we're going to be involved in this year?
Yes. The common last year was lit. All the trees were lit. So they are doing it again this year, and they are looking for sponsors of these. There's like a total of 22 trees, I believe, large and small. And people, businesses, individuals have an opportunity to sponsor a tree to be lit. And you make your donation, and they will send you out a little, placard or whatever, acknowledging who the donors were. So Spirit of Shrewsbury is going to sponsor a tree this year. And I think that's a great way, 2020, we're doing everything we can do, basically. So,
Right.
So it's another way to, show our support for the town. Right. And I don't know if you saw it last year, but it was
Sure.
absolutely beautiful.
Yes, it was.
It was such a nice tribute, and lighting up the common, it's the focal point of our town, basically. And it was just very well done. So I was happy to see that they were doing it again this year. So that's another thing that will be going on, and Spirit of Shrewsbury will be actually sponsoring. Back to the scarecrows, the dates on that are October 1st to the 25th. Usually they did it around Spirit of Shrewsbury, like the week or two before the Spirit of Shrewsbury, and kept it up until just before Halloween. But they decided that they would go a little bit longer this year so that everyone would have an opportunity to see it. And they've changed things a little bit, and this year their theme is going to be honoring essential workers. How appropriate. And all scarecrows in the exhibit must exhibit social distancing and be masked. So that's how what they're doing.
Well, that's appropriate.
Appropriate,
Given
right?
the situation, that's appropriate.
Absolutely. So they do have the information online on the website for the Garden Club, and on their Facebook page, and we will be putting it up on the Spirit of Shrewsbury webpage as well, but they do have information out there, so they're encouraging everyone. You know, it's individuals, it's, you know, the kids at school, businesses, whatever they want to do, so I'm looking forward to it. Every year it's a real treat to be able to view the creativity of the people in this town is like unbelievable.
And don't forget the fireworks.
Okay, that's next year.
I know, not this year, that's next year.
We're gonna do it up big next year. We're just postponing our whole, you know, 25th anniversary
Right.
to next year, and we're going to do some different things. One of them being fireworks. We did do fireworks back a number of years ago
20th.
for our 20th anniversary, so I think it's appropriate that we bring it back. We've got a lot of things to square away because it is a huge undertaking between insurances and locations, and of course we lost our location. We had a great location where the Glavin Center was.
Right.
So who knows where we're going to be able to do it this year, but I mean next year.
We'll figure it out.
But we'll figure it out, and it was enjoyed by the people in the community. It was a great display. I mean, even though it only lasted 20 minutes and it cost a boatload of money, it was still worth it
Yes,
for
it
everyone
was.
in the community to
Very much so.
enjoy. Some of the other things we're going to do next year, we'll have some different venues surrounded around the actual expo. And the food trucks, we're going to amp up the number of food trucks we have because that's very well received and works out well because it's all, you know, approved through the Board of Health and all of that, so it's very safe. We will have different things for the children. We're trying to expand like the age bracket so that it's not just the little kids. We want to include all the children in town, meaning teens, tweens, you know. We're probably going to work with Suresh Gupta has been the chairperson for the Kids Got Talent, which we renamed to Shrewsbury's Got Talent because we're trying to open that up to not just the children. We want to include adults possibly next year. We talked about doing some different things, you know, with including adults and maybe doing some type of a version of it or a segment being like a karaoke type of thing. And I think it would open it up to more people in the town, get more participation, and just be a little bit different than what we've done in the past. So I think that's something to look forward to. Let me think what else this year we're actually doing. I guess the focus this year, like everything else in the universe, with all our Zoom meetings and everything else, is to kind of have like a virtual Spirit of Shrewsbury, if you will. That being said, we're working with Shrewsbury Media Cable, and they are going to actually air a lot of footage from yesteryear. Some of it really being vintage, like going back to the first years when we were on the town common before we exploded and moved our venue, which now obviously is at Oak Middle School, but you know, we started out small. We had different parameters back then. The parades back then were totally different. You know, back for our 275th anniversary, we had the full contingent of the Shriners. I mean, I can remember that. My involvement, this is our 25th year. I've been involved with the Spirit of Shrewsbury about 20 of those 25 years. So I'm a dinosaur, and I remember back when we were on the common and we had a different, you know, criteria and a different focus. But we had the full contingent of the Shriners, and they showed up with 3 tractor trailers with, you know, their little cars, big cars, motorcycles, I mean, marching bands. It was crazy. And we had them for a number of years, but they just got so outrageously expensive that we kind of scaled down and just did a portion of the Shriners. But, you know, everything evolves. So, you know, they will be airing that, you know, on Shrewsbury Media Cable. And we're also going to have some footage of the goings-on at the Senior Center, where, you know, this would have been, I think, my 18th year doing the tea after the parade that honors the seniors in the town. And it started out 90 plus. okay? And it's always staggering to me to see how many people we have in our community that are 90-plus years old. I think the statistics last year were over 500 seniors over 90 in the town. And we had, I believe, the facts last year were about 27 that were over 100 years old. I mean, they have an ongoing debate in the town, and they say, well, people live longer in Shrewsbury because of our water and because of this and because of that. So, I mean, who knows? But at any rate, we wish them well, and that's the highlight of the whole weekend for me is working with the seniors. And we did a couple of years now running, we've done a senior prom. I mean, a real senior prom for the seniors. So they're missing that this year, but we'll bring it back next year strong.
You know, I think one of the things we should note is the number of dedicated people we have who volunteer on a regular basis and are members of the board of directors. I mean, Maria is tireless in her work for this organization, but the rest of the people on that board work very, very hard and devote a good deal of their time to making this a successful organization and making our activities successful as well. And I think it's important to note that.
I think it's important that we all work so well as a team.
Right.
I mean, I really focused this year on the team approach. You know, it wasn't, you know, the president, the vice president making decisions. I really included all of our committee because, as you say, I mean, they give countless hours and they're so talented. I mean, we can glean from the talent from all these people.
We're very lucky to have that kind of team in place.
We absolutely are, and they've been phenomenal with,
Yes, they have.
suggestions, and even though we've been meeting virtually via Zoom, we haven't missed a beat. You know,
No,
we
we
really
haven't.
And that's refreshing to me, and it's rewarding because it's not one person rowing this boat. We've got a whole team, and everybody just helps out, and it makes for a great festival. I mean, over the years, they just, to me, I think they get bigger and better, and next year we'll see. It's going to be the best ever, I'm sure.
We'll be back next year.
We will, stronger than ever.
Yes.
The senior center, too, because of it being closed and the involvement of the seniors, they have dedicated the month of September to the Spirit of Shrewsbury, and they, in their newsletter, the edition, they are calling it In the Spirit of Shrewsbury, and I think that's phenomenal. And for the whole month, they are offering these grab-and-go meals free of charge to anyone that's 60 plus. So any of the seniors in town can.
Oh, I'm eligible.
There you go. Not me. Not me. So everyone's jumping on the bandwagon, and even though we can't meet like we usually do, we're going to try and do other things that will still let the people know we're here and we're a strong community.
Great.
And we're going to stay that way.
Yes, absolutely.
Do you have anything else?
Good.
Well, I thank you for helping me, and we're getting the word out to our community, and we look for your support. We can always use volunteers.
Absolutely.
Next year, being the 25th, postponed, we always choose a Grand Marshal every year. So be thinking about who you'd like to nominate for a Grand Marshal and send your entries in early so that we're not scrambling at the end like we always are to make our decision and plan the functions around it. So I encourage people in the community, you can just go online and find out what the criteria is and help us out. We're always looking for volunteers, and we welcome anybody and everyone. And it doesn't have to be a huge block of time.
Yep.
If someone has a couple of hours that they can volunteer, we would love to have you join us.
Right.
Because we are an awesome team. Thanks so much.